I think a lot of people assume that because you're starting a school, you need to be a 501c3 or a nonprofit, but that is not the case at all. I'm going to share with you in this video some things that I considered when starting my school, and it's things that you'll want to take into account. Now, note that I am not a CPA. I am not an attorney. So you're going to want to seek legal and financial advice apart from that. What I'm going to share with you is actually just what I did and the considerations that I took into account when starting Kilroy's Workshop. When I started Kilroy's Workshop, I started it as a single member LLC. And what that does is it separates a little bit my business side of things from my personal side. And that way, if there's any kind of an issue, any kind of a conflict with the business, I need to shut it down, anything like that, there's not going to be a problem in my personal financial situation. It keeps the business and my personal separate. So you want to consider doing something like that. Check for rules in your state. It's a state-by-state setup, so you'll want to check with your Secretary of State. Now, when I did that, I didn't want to be overly complicated. It was just me. There weren't multiple members to it, so I set up a single member LLC. I even used my Social Security number as my pass-through. I wasn't going to have any employees for a while. I didn't even know if I ever would. And so I didn't use a separate FEIN or EIN, employee identification number. I knew that I was just going to be me. I kept it as my social, and it made tax filing easy. I would just file my personal returns, and from the IRS's perspective, Kilroy's was me. And so it really, really kept things simple at the beginning. Now, fast forward 3 years into it, I decided, I think this is going to go someplace. I wanted this to actually maybe hire employees as a company. And so I went ahead and I changed my structure. And that's the point that I went and got advice from my CPA. Now, my CPA was looking at different options. I could keep it as an LLC, or I could move it to an S corporation, or I could make it a C corporation. Those were some of the options. I could also make it a 501c3. I alluded to this at the beginning that a lot of people assume that that's the case. So I did a lot of research. You know what you can't do with a 501c3? You can never sell the thing. And so that's one big problem area. The other is you have a board of directors. You've essentially set up a corporation. You've got a board of directors, and you as the founder are an employee. That employee can be fired. I don't want to be fired from my own business by some people who, they're on the board and maybe thinking that they're doing well, are going to make a decision that's actually going to remove me from my own company. So I wanted to keep control of the company. I wanted to be able to be something that I could sell someday, or to have some flexibility with that at least. And so to keep my options open, I remained as a for-profit company. I set up as an S corp, and I filed that with the state. Now, because I had set it up as a single member LLC at the outset, it was an easy conversion. Literally I filed some paperwork online, and I converted from an LLC over to an S corp. I also filed some paperwork with the IRS, and I used my CPA for doing some of this as well, for that advice again. And we were able to convert to an S corp, and I hired my first employees. And so that structure allowed me to actually really take advantage of some of the different tax structures, protection structures, but not get myself down into this really painful process of going down one path and then having to back out and then go down another path. So one of the pieces of advice for me is keep it simple at the beginning. If you know that it's just going to be you, there's no sense in setting up this grand corporation and spending money on getting it put together. If you know that, say, in 10, 15 years, you might want to sell this as a business, think again about doing that 501c3. Let me touch on the 501c3 here real quick. It is a great structure for a nonprofit to be able to take in donations, for other people to get tax deductions off of the 501c3. But at the end of the day, you really need to determine what it is that you want at the end. Begin with the end in mind. And if you take a look at the video that we've got on 30 days to your first class, this is one of those considerations. What is it that you see this being in 10 and 15 years? And fact of the matter is you might not know. I didn't at Kilroy's. And so that's why I kept it really simple at the beginning. I didn't overthink it, and I encourage you to do the same. Now, if you want to check out more, we've got runningkilroys.com. Go out to runningkilroys.com. We've got free resources. I've got more information here. That 30 days to your first class is out there as well, with checklist items and stuff like that to get going. If you're in it already and you're running your business, you're running your school, and you're curious about some of these things as well, we've got other videos for different stages that you can go check out as well right here at Running Kilroys on our channel, and also at runningkilroys.com. Click like and subscribe. Thanks much.